The only thing that we're interested in is putting money in your wallet. If you want to bet the fights, if you want to have a little bit of action, you are in the right place with my partner, Ian Parker. I am Brett Okamoto.
We're ready to rock between our parlays, our props, our straight picks. It's time to make money. Let's go.
There she is, lovely Las Vegas. We are back at the UFC's home city for a UFC Fight Night main event between Edson Barboza, Lerone Murphy, one of the most entertaining men to watch in the sport. Number 12 ranked featherweight, Edson Barboza. In addition to having one of the most entertaining men in the sport to watch, I introduce you to the most entertaining person to listen to in the combat betting sports space. It is my partner, Ian Parker, and I am Brett Okamoto, and we are here to break this entire card down, as always, from a gambling perspective. But before we do, we go back to St. Louis. How did we do on our picks last week at UFC Fight Night, Ian?
I love the encouraging words this week. You got me happy early. All right, we went 3-0 in our best bets. Derek Lewis, I didn't love the wrestling in rounds 1 and 2. I love that his coach said, stop wrestling, knock him out, and he did just that. Co-main event over 1.5 rounds. That was my favorite play of the night, super easy. Tabitha Ricci, we got maybe a little bit lucky there with the judges, but we've been on the wrong end of splits before. I'm happy to take it there. And Kevin Doucette, unfortunately, that fight was canceled, leaving us with 3 fights to play with, but we swept. The parlay missed due to Rabeski and Robelis, which I don't know what he was doing, but we hit prop of the night with Lewis by TKO or KO. Let's go back and let's do it again this week.
Yeah, man, 3-0. You can't complain about that. We mentioned to you last week, don't force the best bets. This card, we only had 4 of them. We ended up only having 3 of them, but you got to be happy about that 3-0 result on the best bets. Let's turn our attention to this weekend, UFC Fight Night at the Apex. Again, you got Edson Barboza taking on Lerone Murphy, Chaos Williams, Carlston Harris in the co-main event. I really like this main card because you don't see a lot of wide odds, a lot of close competitive fights to talk about at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN+. And so let's start with that main event, a 5-rounder between Barboza and Murphy. And Barboza has been hot as an underdog, Ian. He has cashed his last 2 against Billy Q, against Sadiq Youssef. He was a dog in both of those. He is a dog once again here. Do we like him to make it 3 in a row, or does Lerone Murphy keep his undefeated record intact?
You know what? If you're going to play this, I would lean Barboza. Look, it's hard when you're looking at these odds when Barboza just went out and beat Sadiq Youssef in a very entertaining, a very hard-nosed win. And he didn't look like he was getting any worse. Doesn't look like age has really impacted him. He's always been a little chinny. But if you can't put him away, he's got the striking. He has the kicks where he could change a fight at any given time. And he did just that. The cardio's there. He's got good fight IQ. The question is, for me, is Lerone Murphy ready for this step up in competition? We've never seen him fight a 5-rounder. He's had some tough fights out, before getting to this level. So the odds of him being a favorite throw me off a tiny bit. I get it. He's an undefeated prospect. But Barboza still has that power. He still has that striking. But I'm going to take it in a different direction. I like over 3.5 here, Brett. Lerone Murphy has never been finished, has never come close to being finished. And as long as he doesn't spark Barboza too early where Barboza can't recover, I think this fight probably goes a distance and someone ends up winning by decision. However, if you're sitting there and you're looking at how am I going to play this, I think the value is in the underdog if you want to go that way. But for me, it's over 3.5 rounds.
Okay, so Ian Parker taking over 3.5, likes the fight to actually go all the way to 5 rounds. We will see on Saturday inside the UFC Apex. Let's go to the welterweight division. Chaos Williams taking on Carlston Harris. Harris, 36 years old to Chaos Williams, 30 years old. Should be an entertaining co-main event. Which way are you going here? Williams, the small favorite at -130.
I'm going to probably sound like a broken record here for a few of these fights, but I like over 1.5 rounds here. Reason being is that with Chaos Williams, outside of those first 2 fights where he got quick knockouts, after that, round three, decision, he is someone who we know he carries crazy power. But if he doesn't get that off early, he's all right. And that fight you're seeing in the graphic, he lost that fight as a pretty sizable favorite here. He is going to be on the opposite end when it comes to the ground game. Harris will have the advantage there. And for Chaos Williams, he's also been out for a while. He's not been very active. I haven't seen his skills tremendously improve. So if he doesn't tag Harris early and put him away, I feel like we're going to see another fight. So I like over 1.5 here. We just saw Harris have a huge comeback from behind win over Jeremiah Wells, who's extremely tough. And he got a submission win, but Brett, that was in the 3rd round. Over 1.5 is my play here.
Okay, so we got a couple totals here from Mr. Parker, plus a little bit of leans on the side if you want to go that route. Let's look at the rest of the main card again on ESPN Plus. We go to the welterweight division. Temba Garimba taking on Ramez Brahima, and you like the over again here on the main card.
I will say this. I think that Ramiz is a live dog here because he'll have the advantage in the ground game. I think when you look at Themba Garimbo, I can't really look at that fight against Pete Rodriguez. Rodriguez gets knocked out by everybody, and I keep thinking about Garimbo against Fletcher. For me, I think we're going to see a lot of clinch time, over 1.5. If anything does end, it's at the end of the second, early third round here.
All right, we're not going over here again, are we, with Adrian Yanez involved? We are. We are going over 1.5 rounds. What is with you in the overs on this main card?
You know what? I'm seeing these spots, and Vinicius Salvador, he's got good striking, he's got a good reach, he fights from a distance, and he keeps himself out of trouble. Yanez, back-to-back losses where he was finished. I think he's going to be a little hesitant here. I think he also may be a little gun-shy in throwing those punches because he doesn't want to get dropped. He doesn't want a third loss. I think where the power's going to come into play is at the end of the second round again. Give me over 1.5.
All right, and from there we go to the always scrappy, another one who cashes a lot as an underdog. That is Angela Hill taking on Luana Pinheiro, but she is the underdog here against Hill.
Yeah, give me Angela Hill here. I think Hill is one of the most improved fighters, period. She's not just a striker. Cardio's there, grappling's there. And I think Luana Pinheiro is mentally one of the weakest fighters. You know, she's got a lot in the first round. I think she gives up when it's not going her way. And I'm going to go as far as take Hill at a long shot, round 3 TKO or KO as our long shot prop of the night with Angela Hill. I think she gets it done here. Good spot for her.
Oh, love that. Love when you drop in the long shot prop here out of nowhere when I'm not expecting it. We got it in Angela Hill on the 5th fight of the main card. So that takes care of the main card, but let's turn our attention to the prelims. You can find them 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ESPN Plus. And as always, run us through your picks for the preliminary cards.
You got it, sir. Tom Nolan by KO or TKO. His opponent, this is just a nice tailor-made matchup for him. The number is a little high, so I would put Nolan himself in a parlay or throw the prop. Gato, at plus 115, I like her to win this inside the distance. She'll have a major advantage if this fight goes to the ground. A lot of submissions to her game. Love that. Magomedov, Warlley Alves. This is going to be a really interesting fight, Brett. For me, if a Magomedov can kind of be a little bit patient and land and not rush into it, he could tag Warlley Alves, who's been knocked out plenty of times. As long as he doesn't gas out, I think this is a good bounce-back fight for him. Next, we're going to go Rodriguez Carnelossi. Look, Carnelossi is a muscle shark. She is strong as can be, but Rodriguez is just better everywhere. I'm going to take her to win as our prop of the night by decision at plus 100. Even money right there. I think she's the younger, better fighter, but no one gets finished there. Moving on, Clayton Rodriguez. And last but not least, Emily DeCote by unanimous decision. Not just decision, by unanimous. Get 2 rounds, minus 125. Let's go.
All right, and as always, those odds are provided to you by ESPN Bet. So we got the long shot prop in already on the main card. How about the long shot parlay for Saturday?
I'm taking 3 live dogs here. Give me Barboza, Harris, and Ramiz Brahimaj at plus 916. Look, I think Barboza, that number makes, it's a tough one there because of his win over Youssef, and Murphy just hasn't fought anyone like that. Harris, I think, can get it done. I think he's good enough in the striking. As long as he doesn't get knocked out, I think he wins. And Brahimaj, if he can avoid the power and make this a grappling match, he wins that fight. So that's our long shot for the week.
That would be an exciting one to hit, man. 3 dogs just to finish the card, the main event card. You got the fight, the co-main, and the main, all dogs to hit our long shot parlay. How about just a normal parlay for this weekend?
Yeah, this one's a little chalky. I tried to get as good of odds as possible here. I think all 4 of these fighters do win. It is 4 fights to only win plus 158, but you're reducing your risk of having to play each one of them, even with their props. Each one of their props, except for Gatto, is expensive. So for me, I'm going to go all 4, parlay them together, get plus 158. We're going to call it the Chalky Parlay for the week.
The Chalky Parlay for Saturday, and let's round out with Ian Parker's best bets for UFC Fight Night. What do you got?
We're going to go 4 overs here. I know it's not great. I know it's not great. It's not fun, but I just see it going this way. Main event over 3.5 rounds. As long as Barboza does not get tagged early, there's a chance Lerone Murphy turns it into a wrestling match. We've seen him in top position before. He is good. He's got good ground and pound. Barboza's got enough defense back there. I think we're going to see this fight go pretty far. Williams-Harris over 1.5. I think I've said this a few times. I'm going to say it one more time. As long as Harris does not get knocked out early, I think this fight goes to at least round 3. Same thing with the next fight with Garimbo Brahimaj, over 1.5. Yanez Salvador, this is going to be all depend on Yanez being a little bit more hesitant and saving his power and cardio for the later rounds. Let's go Angela Hill. And last but not least, Clinton Rodriguez. I think the volume of his striking, and he's got the opportunity to take this fight to the ground at minus 150. I'm in. I'm giving you guys 6 this week. Let's go.
Oh, Ian's got some money in his pocket from that 3-0 last week, and so he gave you a best bet for every single fight on the main card. You probably could have bet that was going to come. Thank you so much for watching UFC Best Bets. No show next week. We got an off week, but then right after that, it will be a big one, UFC 302. Interesting fight to talk about. Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev. You also got Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa. Cannot wait to talk about that fight card, but we'll see you in 2 weeks. Until then, enjoy the fights this weekend. Goodbye.